I got to find a new way to start this show. Welcome to That's Good Broncos, the podcast / YouTube show that just never stops, ever. I'm Brandon Perna. I can barely say my name correctly. Here with Will Keys, the first, that's an oldie. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Make sure you use code DNVR when you sign up to take advantage of them. Take full advantage of those DraftKings with DNVR. Also, my coffee company, bitchwarmerbrew.com. Organic, ethically sourced, just really fucking good coffee. All the dollars of proceeds go to me. So if you want to buy that shit, you can. And today we've got some Broncos stuff to talk about. Quarterbacks they're thinking about maybe bringing in, little best and worst of Broncos moments this season, and a little bit of Buffalo Bills talk, since I am pandering to Buffalo Bills fans. But that's not, I wouldn't say pandering, because I genuinely like the Buffalo Bills, and I always have.
Yeah.
I wrote a paper about their comeback against the Oilers in the playoffs when I was a child. So I have followed them for a long time. And we're doing well with them on YouTube and Twitter. Not so much on Reddit.
Yeah, so we took the Bills video about them beating up on the Patriots on Monday Night Football and posted it onto the Bills subreddit, and it was met with general acclaim. I think like 15 likes or something, or upvotes or whatever, something like that. But a few of the comments were like, couldn't make it past the intro. This is cringe. Yeah. Whatever. One guy was like, can't make it past the intro. Is it even worth watching? It's like, if you're going to like take the time to write that and comment, is it worth watching? Why don't you just like hit the skip arrow a couple times and find out for yourself?
Yeah, just watch the video.
Or like a 10-minute video. I think that has more to do with it says more about Reddit than it says about the Buffalo Bills. So I know the Bills fans to be generally good people. And
yeah, with a sense of fucking humor too.
I know people on Reddit to be generally not very funny, not very original. And yeah, definitely not a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with Reddit.
I do too, because there's certain parts of it that are cool.
Yeah, like the Broncos Reddit is, I mean, it helped me build my show. You know what I mean? And
yeah, they're great. They're great.
People are still cool there. I can post whatever. There's always like at least one or two funny things from the Broncos in the thread. It's not all these football nerds who only want to consume football nerd shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if you go to the NFL Reddit, people take it way too serious. It's like, you got to go to the NFL comedy or meme Reddit or whatever the fuck it is. It's like, it's all football. Like, have a little fun with it. And yeah, cringe as fuck. Dude, that intro was so fucking awkward. I couldn't make it past it. Like, that's the point. So to me, I'm like, I did the right thing then, because the whole point of the intro was making it as dumb as possible. And I just have a hard time understanding when people don't understand
that that's a show. It's dumb on purpose.
Yeah.
It is meant to like highlight just some of the dumb things that we see watching grown men play a game.
I saw Josh Allen do something funny. It looked like he was having a seizure when he was trying to dance. And I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah. How do I make this even dumber? And that's it's funny because, like, to me, I thought that was the best part of the episode. And then it gets posted somewhere you're not, you don't have your fans at, and they just shit all over it instantly. And you're like, oh,
I think like coffee, like Benchwarmer Brew, our videos are sometimes an acquired taste.
Yeah, no, that's true.
The people who get onto it,
they're loyal.
They stay for a really long time. They're extremely loyal. And we love them. And Bills Mafia, I think if they had a little more time with us, they would be they would grow to love us, I think,
Yeah.
in sort of a Stockholm syndrome kind of way. But speaking about the Bills, and we want to get someone on next week to talk about the Bills
Yeah.
because they're just an interesting story at this point.
We're definitely going to get Dan Mitchell. I think it's Dan Mitchell.
Dan Mitchell?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look him up. But we tried to get OJ. He was busy. He has to golf or to make a Twitter video or something. So
Like both at the same time.
Yeah. Hello, Twitter world. Anyway,
it's me.
Good news for the Bills and their fans because they really deserve this. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, universally revered figure, he announced today that the Bills will be able to hold 6,700 fans in their stadium for their home playoff game. So I think with the Bills stadium, that's an old stadium. I don't know their capacity, but that's probably like an eighth or more capacity. And I really love this because they've played without fans all year in that stadium.
Yeah.
And this is such a big moment for them. They get a home playoff game for the first time since 1995. And they just deserve it. Like it would be something cruel, I think. I hate that they won't get a full stadium of Bills fans, although I think we'll get it in the near future. But it's a good thing to do to get them in the stadium and get some people who are huge Bills fans and can do the testing or whatever. But I think it's going to be huge for the team too.
Yeah, I think it'll give them a little extra juice. I think this team would be a lot of fun to watch when they play off of the emotion and enthusiasm of a home crowd. They don't even need it. Like they already play excited football and it looks like they're having fun.
Is it a bad idea? They've played so well without fans all season. Why switch around now?
No, I don't think it'll hurt them. They're also, it looks like they're built to win for a while. So
I agree.
They'll get to experience this hopefully next season. Yeah. They're built to win for a while, unlike the Broncos, who I don't know when they'll be good again. This offseason is going to probably be pretty key for that. I saw on Twitter, Ben Albright mentioned 3 veteran quarterback names that the Broncos might be considering to bring in for competition. Neither names were Matt Ryan or Matthew Stafford, like you and I talked about in the last episode. Here are the names. Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew as veteran competition for Drew Lock. I've got my opinion, but I'll let you go first on this one, Will.
I think they're all really good backups.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them actually. Well,
where it ends, I think Minshew's different.
Yeah,
I think Minshew Dalton are kind of, they're good like long haul backups. I think they're good. Dak Prescott gets hurt. Andy Dalton's a good option to turn to. Generally speaking, hasn't been great all season, but you could do a lot worse there.
Yeah.
I heard, because I listened to the Mike Kliss interview on the radio, and he brought up Stafford too.
Oh, did he?
If the money's right. Yeah, and if he gets released, which, we still don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's not set in stone, but...
Right, so but that's not that's a totally different situation because you don't bring in Stafford, obviously, for competition. You bring in Stafford, and it's his job.
Yeah.
You probably send Locke somewhere else, which if you want to do that, that's I think that's, probably
I'd do it. I'd do it in a second.
Decision.
I would do it in a second. 1 second.
1 second? How much money, though?
I don't care. All of it.
Okay, what if, all right, you think, though, you get Stafford, you can't pay Von Miller anymore.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because that's kind of, that's a little bit of the trade-off you have to make.
Yeah, here's the way I look at it. And I love Von Miller probably. I would say I appreciate what he's done for the team more so
Uh-oh.
than the
Once you hear the word appreciate, you know he's gone.
average fan. Yeah. But if I had to choose between him and Stafford right now to help this team, I would take Matthew Stafford. And it's because we've seen what a season looks like without Von Miller. That is this year.
Yeah.
And it is about 1 or 2 losses worse than it was the year before, depending on how they finish this season. I think Stafford makes you 5 wins better. 4
5
wins
wins
better.
is a lot.
It is a lot, but
I think maybe if you add Stafford and you don't have like a cataclysmic injury situation, yeah, I think 5 is pretty reasonable there.
I mean,
Stafford alone being 5 wins, I think we're setting our expectations way too high because people kind of assume that it's like, okay, he's been with the Lions his whole career, so they're the only reason he's been held back is because he's been with a bad franchise, and I think that's the case a little bit, but he is still very much a he's kind of an all or nothing quarterback, where he actually, I think he has a lot of the same problems that Drew Lock does, where he's like, he just throws some passes where you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, why'd he throw it off his back foot? But he'll also make these crazy throws, and he's more prolific than Lock, definitely, and he moves the ball, I think, a little bit better. But yeah, I think people are setting themselves up a little bit to be disappointed. I think you got to temper expectations a little bit if you brought in a guy like Stafford. I also understand not doing that, though.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get Stafford. But like the way I
look
at
the Patriots?
What's that?
Is he going to go to the Patriots?
I mean, if I were Stafford, I don't know. I mean, if I was Matthew Stafford, I'd be looking at the Broncos' offensive personnel as a better landing spot than the Patriots right now. It's like,
absolutely.
Who are they going to bring in?
Right.
And if Cortland Sutton gets healthy, he is the perfect receiver for Matthew Stafford. Like,
yeah, because he's got that Megatron.
Just throw the
we're not calling him Megatron, but like the same build, and
he's a jump ball dominator.
Yeah,
that's what you want. It's like Stafford this year hasn't even been great, but 23 touchdowns to 9 picks. He was playing really well before he got hurt. We said like it's last season, 2019. So his health is the biggest question there. But I would risk what I know about Matthew Stafford over what I don't know about Drew Lock. And it's not even a knock on Drew Lock. Like, I think the right thing to do is to give him the chance to play next season and see where you're at the end of year 3, because so much of this season was bullshit. But that said, the other guy I like in this conversation is Gardner Minshew. I like him for a rootability factor. I like that he's safe with the football. The one thing Drew Lock has been terrible about is turnovers. And if you fix that, I think you get more wins. And my questions about Gardner Minshew is like between what he did in college and what he's done at Jacksonville is he threw it all over the place in college. And it just feels like he plays too safe in Jacksonville, or at least he has this year. I don't know if he's the right guy to mix with Pat Shurmur's offense, and if you want him to really open it up, if that's the right fit there. And that's why I think Matthew Stafford makes sense. But I think for me to get behind somebody, I could easily get behind Gardner Minshew. And that would actually be a real competition between him and Drew Lock, I think, in terms of if Drew Lock's playing well and he stops throwing picks, then I think he's better than Gardner Minshew. But if he continues to play this way and Minshew's been what we've seen, then I think that's a safer
he's higher. He's got a higher ceiling than Minshew, but how we're kind of tired about talking about that, like talking about higher ceilings and lower ceilings and whatever. We kind of just want to see it at this point. And Minshew, I feel like if you put him in there, you're just going to get what you get. And it's not like hidden ability or anything. It's kind of just all on the field there to see at the start. And that's a good and a bad thing because you kind of know what you're getting. And at the same time, I don't feel like there's a ton of like room for improvement because his like physical skill set isn't crazy like Locke.
Right.
But that could be a good thing for an offense that has a ton of talent and a good defense. Maybe all you need is just kind of someone pretty steady.
Yeah, it's like he just plays for such a terrible team right now. So
yeah, all the Stafford things you could put on Minshew times like 2.
Yeah. Okay. So the last game he started was against Baltimore, Gardner Minshew. 75.9 completion percentage, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and they lost 40-14.
Well, what do you want?
He got sacked 5 times in that game. Okay. But like if the Broncos were getting that from Drew Lock, I feel like they win a couple extra games this year. If that's every week. The problem with Gardner Minshew is he good enough to be that quarterback to score you more than the goddamn cursed 16 points every week or 20 points? Like, I don't know. I don't know that about him. Drew Lock can be that guy when he gets on a streak in a game. And even last week, like looking back at the game a little more closely, a lot of what went wrong wasn't really Drew Lock's fault, except
he played better than
the box score is going to show you. The Jeudy drops were huge. But he's still that opening series still threw that pick. So it's want to see that not be there. You want, but
yeah, I don't know if you like coach that out of a guy too either. I mean, everything I thought I knew about quarterbacks and coaching and like development and everything, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes recently is like they've kind of just destroyed everybody's notion of like prejudices against quarterbacks with bad mechanics or this or that. Like if you get good enough coaching and patience, it feels like you can just kind of iron out just about everything.
Well,
I don't know about that. The mindset too, like nothing's there and I'm just going to make a play regardless. Feels like Locke's got that a little bit. I don't know if you get rid of that, but it feels like Josh Allen got rid of that. Like he had some of those, what the fuck are you doing plays? Like,
yeah,
we're talking about a guy who lateraled the ball to an offensive lineman in the playoffs last year in a tight game in the playoffs. And you look at Josh Allen and you go, I don't know. We'll see in the playoffs if he's like got that nervous energy again, but I don't think he's going to do anything like that.
No, that playoff game, he looked lost at times. But yeah, I think he's a different quarterback now. And I tweeted this and it got posted in the Broncos Reddit. And I think people thought I was criticizing Drew Lock. And I wasn't specifically referring to Drew Lock, but I said, I think Josh Allen is giving a lot of fans watching bad quarterback play false hope. And it's because like, I think he's the exception to the rule. And what has happened with him is, to me, an anomaly in terms of NFL QB play. You don't see a guy jump from even last year to this year. It's insane. Like he's in the MVP conversation. That's how much better he is. It's coaching that he got weapons and whatever it is, it clicked with him.
I think he's 2. Like I think he's second place, probably an MVP.
Right. He's been that good and he's not throwing the ball. He's not forcing it. He knows where to go with the football. He's accurate. Like he changed those 3 things. And Drew Lock can learn like the defense. He can learn where to go with the football. And I would say he looked more accurate in college than Josh Allen. So there's a chance he can do that. But it is rare that you see that happen. And even like Patrick Mahomes, like if you want to talk about mechanics and things being off in college, as a pro, it's never been a problem. So whatever it was.
I don't know. I disagree. Like, I think it is a problem sometimes. He still has, like, you watch him play, and he hits Tyreek Hill 80 yards on the field and everything, but you can still see him like throw a swing pass to a running back and his feet are all fucked up and he sails it by like 2 yards or just like hits the ground. He makes all these plays off schedule, and it kind of hides the fact that he kind of struggles with like the very simple stuff. So like sometimes those things are always there, but it's a matter of like, it's not about like what a guy can't do. Like, all you want to do with football players is figure out what they can do and try to, get the most out of that.
No, I agree. It's my whole point though, is like, I was thinking about lots of quarterbacks, and a lot of people are using Josh Allen as an example now of why their guy can get better. And I think a lot of players can get marginally better if you take your time with them. And I think Drew Lock might need 2 more seasons to get there. Like, because it still hasn't started
he's not going to get
season, and it's going to take time, and it's hard to be patient. My thing with Drew Lock though is I'm not convinced he has it. Whatever it is, I'm not convinced of it. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying if I had to bet on him getting to be a really, really good quarterback, I would bet on no. But I said the same thing about Josh Allen. So it doesn't mean I'm right, but I would be more, if I were making the decision, I'd be more apt to, if I thought there was a better option, to take that chance is what I'm saying.
Right. And I think the lesson in the Josh Allen thing is not that your quarterback can, no matter how shitty he is, he can just kind of overnight turn into an MVP candidate. It's that you have to, if you're going to make the investment, you have to put in the time.
Yeah.
And let it happen. Don't expect it. If you sign up for a project quarterback, what the Bills did when they took Josh Allen, and with what the Broncos did with a significantly lower investment in the second round, but you're still signing up for a project quarterback, don't expect it to be good right away. And I think kind of what fucked up Drew Lock is that, he is a project quarterback, but he came in and played pretty well as a rookie in his last 5 games. And people are like, well, he's ready to go. Like, I expect
I believe that
greatness now. And Colin Cowherd's like, he's a dark horse.
Yeah.
He's an MVP candidate out of all the second-year quarterbacks.
If there's one man to blame for Drew Lock not living up to expectations,
Colin Cowherd,
100% Colin Cowherd. If you got a complaint, mail it to him, because he cursed him by saying that shit. And then he cursed him by doing the other shit about the dancing after Drew Lock's basically one of his best quarters of football ever. So
are we jealous of Colin Cowherd for probably knowing significantly less about football?
Yeah.
But being on, ESPN and Fox.
Yep.
And making significantly more millions of dollars.
Give me and Will.
I would say yes.
Give Will and I the exact same platform as Colin Cowherd and the same patience you would ask of Drew Lock. 2 years. Give us 2 years on that platform, and we will fucking own Cowherd. We'll be whatever his ratings are, we'd be above it, guaranteed. And I won't even say fuck to do it. I can do it without fucks. You don't think I'm man enough to do it without fucking? You don't think I can not fuck my way to the top? I will unfuck us to the top. No scams about it.
Isn't the scam caller ID really just?
It's one of my favorite inventions ever. Yeah.
Yeah. For all the mind control that Apple has been doing, they got that one right.
Yeah, I don't even care that. my information's being sold. Like, I want shit presented to me that the big companies think I like. It makes my life
That's
a
fair.
little
Yeah.
easier.
I get so much, like, my Instagram is full of like ads for like throwback NFL shirts and jerseys and like
Yeah.
jackets. And I'm like, you know what? This is correct. Like, I have my reservations about the whole operation in general, but fuck, it works. It really works.
Yeah, it does.
I just think we should. I think we should get paid for our data.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
They should pay it.
If the companies that are selling it are getting paid, then yeah, we should get a cut of that shit.
Yeah.
Too.
So the thing with Cowherd is, I don't know. We're just maybe we should start just becoming like a take show, and just what's an episode hit a really outrageous take, because like these guys are, if you watch their show front to back, which I try not to do most of the time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Most of it's like pretty rational.
Yeah.
But then they'll just out of nowhere, they'll just drop like a nuclear bomb that makes the rounds on like Twitter and YouTube and everything, and that drives the engagement. But you get into the show itself, and most of it's like pretty vanilla and like pretty reasonable, and you feel like you might even be learning something. But
yeah, I've always had a hard time.
Drop the take so perfectly in there.
No, it's like you and I would talk. Say we talked, this whole episode, Broncos, the Bills, and then we did 3 minutes where I said I don't even think Patrick Mahomes is the third best quarterback in the league, and I was like Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, then Patrick Mahomes, and it'd be like Patrick. If I could even get him in out of the top 5, and it's like, Patrick Mahomes isn't even a top 5 QB in the NFL. That would be like what people clicked on. And then, but I don't want to do that shit, because I could convince myself of that too. Like, I could convince myself of that take, because there's a handful of very good quarterbacks out there, but like, it's a game I'm not good at playing. I don't think
it's
either
a slippery
of us are.
slope. No, we just can't help but be the most intelligent, level-headed people.
It's not our fault we're so smart
in this industry. Yeah, we can't help it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just too collected, and just smarter than everyone else. Really smarter and funnier.
This podcast should be why the Broncos should fire John Elway right now and trade Drew Lock for
straight up for Julio Jones. Yeah, because he's on the trading block, and then we're piecing together all these relevant issues. Yeah. All right. So one thing I wanted to touch on really quick, and it is currently the 30th of December. By my math, tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
See?
So 2020 is about to be over. I wanted to ask you, what is the best moment of 2020 for the Broncos, and what's the worst? And I feel like the second part is a little easier. So maybe we'll start with, what's the worst?
Well, let me start with the best, which is DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, which is putting you in the center of the action with endless ways to make it rain this week. Sports betting has never been this convenient. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bet from anywhere the app is available, including your kitchen, your toilet, your bedroom, your car, all the places you can go without worrying about other things. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now, because you don't want to miss this. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new players a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code DNVR. DraftKings Sportsbook has endless ways for you to bet. Well, I bet you could get to the end if you were dedicated enough. From live betting to betting on your favorite players, they do it all. DraftKings is safe, it's reliable, it's secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR when you sign up to get up to $1,000. That's code DNVR to get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You got to be 21. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Best moment for the Denver Broncos. Let me think. Do you know
And
what
I'm talking
best is already?
All 2020. So
Of all 2020.
starting, back before the regular season finale.
Probably Colin Cowherd saying Drew Lock would be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch got me. I would say the Panthers game. Drew Lock throwing 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, and making us feel like for the first time the offense was heading in the right direction. Yeah, I'll go with the Panthers game.
I was going to say that.
Well, then it solidifies it.
Yeah. And I thought about the Chargers game too, but it was so shitty for 3 quarters that I can't quite do that. Yeah, the Panthers game just felt so complete and just easy to watch and fun. If I were to go off the field, I think it would be drafting Jerry Jeudy in the first round, because I never thought they'd be able to get him.
Yeah.
And that, because I thought that they nailed free agency, which I still think they did. You just can't account for the Jarrell Casey stuff.
Yeah.
But and Boye and Callahan and everything. But at that point, that was the peak offseason A+ grade. We
the
had
whole
Brandon
offseason
McManus on.
And maybe the offseason felt more promising because it's, we were free agency is right when COVID started to hit, but the draft, we're 2 months into it. So then you pile free agency with this promising draft, and maybe you get a little too excited because we needed something to believe in.
Right. Yeah. No, and I don't regret getting super excited at that point.
No, I'll do it again this year. I do it every year.
If we didn't, we're all locked in our homes, and if we didn't have something to get excited about, someone's going to put their head in the oven. But to couple that, I think the worst moment was you were on a podcast with the Titans guys. I was sitting on my couch doing nothing, and we find out that Von Miller not even tears his ACL, but something crazy, I can't even remember what it was.
Rolled his ankle and tore some ligaments in his ankle.
Yeah, tore ligaments in his ankle. And at that point, it just it zapped all the energy.
It
rained on the parade.
It was during the walkthrough in the second to last practice before their first game.
Yeah, it just set the tone for the entire season.
No, it did. I'll agree with that as the worst moment, because that moment was so bad that I was already numb. And so Jarrell Casey goes down. It hurts, but I'm like, okay, well, I was already lowered my expectations because Vaughn got hurt. Drew Lock gets hurt week 2. Okay.
That was tough, though.
Cortland Sutton tears his ACL quietly in a game, and you learn after it's torn. Mike Purcell, one of the best stories on the team, done for the season. Albert O tears his fucking ACL.
Super exciting to watch for 3 games.
Yep. And then you get corner after corner doing it. It was just
I'm getting kind of excited about next season, just hearing about all the shit that went wrong this season.
Oh yeah. It was so bad that we've just gotten used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's we've been diagnosed with a really painful disease that won't kill you, but it just hurts every day to have. And after a while, the pain's just there and you just live with it.
Yeah. No, exactly. We just get used to it. I think that it's so devastating to have all that happen this year, and not to get serious for a second, but in just like one of the worst years of I'm gonna take a wild guess and say this wasn't the worst year of your life because you had a daughter.
Yeah, I had a kid.
Regardless of
My
everything
business
else
is
going on.
exactly the same, if not
Yeah.
better than it was last year, because I'm on YouTube. Like, I got really lucky with that. There's people that support this channel. Like, people give me money. I still have sponsors somehow. So yeah, like, it was a good year for me. And it's weird to say that when it's been such it's been bad in that we do have a daughter, but we can't see. My wife's family's in Oregon, and we were going to have them come out for Christmas, but we didn't because that's when shit got weird again. And so they haven't, like, her parents haven't met, their granddaughter yet. It's their first granddaughter. My family we've seen, but way less than we normally would. And those sound insignificant if you're talking about like people losing their businesses or their jobs, but like on a human level, like not being around people that you love as frequently as you'd like to. And like, I'm a recluse anyway during football season because I work so much. It was just even more than that. But it's overall, I would say a pretty shitty year. And most people are going to agree with that for many reasons. And we won't go too deep down that rabbit hole, but yeah, it was not a good year for the thing you need to escape some of the bullshit that goes on in the real world to be terrible, to be really bad.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you too, because I've definitely had worst years in my life. But at the same time, like, this year has just sucked in a way that you can't compare to anything else.
No,
at least in our lifespan. Like I feel like I'm 24 and I might as well be 45 because I don't really get to experience all the fun things about being my age.
Right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, like a lot of good stuff's happened. Like I'm having the best year of my career at this point, and like I like the apartment I moved into and all that cool stuff. But damn, like it would have been such a nice distraction to have a good sports team.
Just competitive, like
in any sport.
I mean, the AFC is crazy. So even if they're at 10 wins, they'd probably be on the outside right now. But it would have been nice if once
just have meaningful games late in the season. We haven't had a meaningful game late in the season in so long.
No, it's and if I'm gonna be real picky here, I feel like my YouTube could be doing a lot better if the Broncos were good.
Yeah,
people lose interest quick when the team is not good.
I don't blame them.
And I feel like I know what I'm doing now so much better than I did when the last time they were good. I'm just waiting to fucking ride that wave with like the fans and like hype up the players instead of like having to acknowledge that, one guy sucked really bad this week and trying to find nice ways to make jokes about it. Like, I don't want to give Jerry Jeudy the big dick defensive player of the week award because he dropped 5 passes, but like, I can't not acknowledge how bad the game was. That said, like, don't be one of those people going to their Twitter accounts and telling them they suck. Like,
that's okay. I was something that I didn't write down, but I wanted to talk about.
So fucked up. I
know, like, he fucking blew it in the Chargers game, and it's it's obvious. He also had a lot of nice plays in that game, but he totally got in his head, and it went from his brain to his hands in that order. You could just tell, like, it kept piling on, and it probably cost them the game. Like, they probably win if he doesn't have all those drops.
He's the number one reason they lost, not the only reason, just the number one reason.
Yeah.
For that game.
But like, at the same point, it wasn't like a game that mattered.
Nope.
And I still think Jeudy's really, really good. Yep. And I'm not concerned long term about it unless like he really, really gets in his head about it.
I think the drops are always going to be a little bit of a thing, but I don't think they'll be like
yeah,
this.
I mean, it happens, it happens. But yeah, there's people like, well, should we trade him? Like bust, all this shit.
I just don't understand the mindset of somebody.
People go after him like on Twitter, and people think he's a shithead because of that. Like, at least I got my conditioning in tweet from a few weeks ago.
I still think is funny. I still think he should tweet it. I don't give a fuck what a player tweets unless he tweets something like, my head coach is stupid, this team sucks because of him. Then that's maybe, that's not the type of
he's
guy.
He's also like, he's what, 21?
Yeah. Like, you just look, I tweet so much shit. I will never criticize a player for tweeting things about the game that they play. It's part of who they are now. Like, social media is integrated into a part of their life, and it's not going to go away.
It's like a part of business too.
Yeah. It's like we talked about with Juju Smith-Schuster and the dancing. He can do it all he wants. Like, who cares? That does not, I do not believe that affects like the way a guy plays in the football game. But it's okay to criticize it and make fun of it. Yeah. But I'm not going to Juju Smith-Schuster and saying you're bad because you did this dance. Like, it's like, it becomes a whole part of it's like part of the spectacle. And I like it. Yeah. Like, I like the irony to say weird things.
Right. The irony too is we're pissed off, or I don't know, pissed off. Like, we see that clearly a really good player is having a really bad game. And the mental part is a huge factor why that happened. Oh yeah. So what we're going to do, because we're frustrated, is tell him how much he sucks.
Yeah. Go mess with this mental
on the only platform that we can. So we're going to just compound the issue. And obviously, like, if you're Jerry Jeudy, just don't go on like Twitter or anything for a month or so.
It's a double-edged sword.
Delete the app and stuff, but it's going to find his way to him. So yeah, I don't know, just give it a little fucking time and
cut him some slack.
No one that listens to this show is an idiot like that.
People here are good.
But if you go like, I made the mistake of like, someone posted a screenshot of like, it's like fan groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
Those are where the dumbest, most cancerous takes originate. It's really a swamp. And someone was talking about like trading Jerry Jeudy already, and like Jerry Droppy, and get him off my team and stuff. You guys are fucking morons.
Rip somebody. Go rip Jeff Driscoll. Okay.
Go find someone who deserves it, like Jeff Driscoll.
It's funny because like that the Jeudy drop game, like I remember the same thing happening to me, and it was either my last year in middle school or my first year in high school. I thought that I forgot how to catch a football. Like, yeah. I think it was 8th grade because I played quarterback, but I didn't have the best arm yet, and because my hands were small and the ball was still a little slippery, so it was kind of dicey, and the footballs were old and didn't have grip on them. So they'd bring in like the tall kid when they wanted to throw long passes, and then they'd put me at wide receiver to catch passes. And then like at practice, I feel like I dropped a couple of easy ones, and then I dropped some easy ones in the game. And I remember it happened like 2 weeks in a row. I dropped balls in the game, and I've like freaked out thinking I would never know how to catch a football again. And it's like this weird mental thing. And I know it, like, comparing a pro football game to a fucking 8th grade football game is stupid. I realize that, but I'm trying to say, like, yeah, I understand the mental state you can get in when you make a mistake. And it's not because you're not good. It's just because they call it the yips, right? But something goes wrong, and all of a sudden you're in your own head about it, and you don't necessarily know how to fix it, especially during a game. But eventually I learned to catch again, and it's fine. Like, I've made it to the pros.
But you got to be careful with it too, because it can be the yips can be terminal. Like Rick Ankiel, who was a pitcher in the major leagues. I forget for which team when he was pitching, but he was a good pitcher and eventually he got the yips and just couldn't even get it, like couldn't even hit the catcher, like was throwing it to the backstop on every single pitch.
Right.
And luckily for him, he just stopped pitching and made the switch to outfield and became like a pretty good outfielder for the rest of his career, which is a pretty rare thing. It'd be like Jerry Jeudy, not even switching to defensive back. It'd be like if he played quarterback or something and turned into like a decent quarterback.
Right.
But you got to be careful with it. So what I was thinking, like I heard it on the Stokely show on the radio, but it's like, how do you, if you're the Broncos or you're like Pat Shurmur, Vic Fangio, and you want to kind of fix that or reassure him, do you like deliberately throw a pass to him on the first play of the game, or do you let it kind of happen organically?
I mean, I think you talk to Jeudy, see where he's at, but I feel like he's the kind of guy who wants the opportunity again. So yeah, I go right back to him right away. Yeah, like you have nothing to lose right now. The game doesn't fucking matter. So try to get him right as quick as you can.
Right. I feel like though, if you throw it to him
and he drops it,
like a first play, and it goes right through his hands, then you might get.
Yeah, that's why I say you talk to Jeudy. Like,
then you have the whole off season to think about the last two games.
That's true.
So what I would do is I would do that little Tyreek Hill touch pass play on like the first or second play of the game, where like he basically can't drop it. Like it's just right. It's like, a couple feet in the air. If he drops it, then he's really got a problem. But it's like such a high percentage play, and it's, it could turn into something big, and it could just build his confidence just a little bit, and he could focus on something else for a second. He feels like, well, even though I had my drops, like I can still contribute in some way. I would do that, like just a little bubble screen or something.
It's what's crazy is like if you take away some drops this season, the Broncos probably win 3 more games. They probably beat the Titans without the Jeudy drops. They probably beat the Steelers without the Albert O drops, and then they probably beat the Chargers in that game. So, like, they're at what?
Steelers. The Albert O drops against the Steelers.
Was that the Steelers?
I think he was dropping against the Patriots. They still won that game
anyway.
Yeah, I think maybe it was like a Hamilton or
maybe
Hamler or something.
It was just
I don't know.
I forget. I thought it was Albert O, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, but they've had so much bad.
It is. They're all young guys. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
Locke's gonna make mistakes because he's a young quarterback. Judy's gonna make mistakes because he's a rookie. Albert O is a rookie. Like that shit happens. And the problem for Broncos fans is it feels like this stuff has been happening every year. It's like just fix these little things, and these mistakes, if they go away, they're pretty good. And
it's just like it's a game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
They get like doing that. You got to just create a team. You got to build a team that withstands like injury and bad luck. And
you got to make it through those phases.
Yeah. And usually like the best way to do that is coaching. And I think they have great defensive coaching that clearly until the injuries just got like the Bills game like that bad. I think they found a way to coach through they did. Bad luck that they're facing.
And really what you hope for next season is that the injuries are more on a normal scale where maybe Von Miller misses, 2 or 3 games because it's a hamstring. He's not done for the whole season. Maybe Cortland Sutton you got to play without a week or so. Like normal teams lose like maybe 1 or 2 important players max for the whole season. There's key and role players you're kind of shuffling a little bit throughout the year, but for the most part, like you're not trying to compensate
There's no COVID bullshit to worry about.
Yeah, no, it didn't even fucking mention the COVID game in this. That might have been the best moment because I got my best video out of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I
takes the sting out of it.
Yeah, I beat the NFL on it. So.
Oh really?
They released their claims because it's fair use. So I'm just waiting for the actual money to come in for that video.
Does YouTube just like send you a big plastic check?
Yeah, it's a giant check like Happy Gilmore I've requested.
How do you cash the? Can you cash those on like the app, or do you have to find an ATM that's proportionally sized?
Yeah, they got big ATMs. You just got to go to like the Costco.
You have to like use your whole hand to press each of the buttons because it's that big.
Ding, ding. Yeah, just like the whack-a-mole, but with your hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's good for today. We'll be back next week and in through the playoffs.
Try to get a Bill. Dan Mitchell from the Bills. I don't really know who he is, to be honest, but hopefully
we get him. YouTube channel. There's another guy I'm going to reach out to, but we'll be here every week throughout the off season. Usually we do every other week, but this year we're going balls out.
We have sponsorships and partnerships and legal obligations that we have to fulfill. So you're getting us once a goddamn week, whether you like it or not.
Correct. Good night.
And
good luck.